All right. So, the word I want you to write here is across. Okay? Vertical angles are across from each other when we have two lines that intersect. So notice how we have two lines that intersect. Angles 1 and 3 would be considered vertical angles. Okay? Now, I'm gonna trace angle 1. What do you think is gonna happen when I put this on angle 3? It's the same. Okay? So when we have vertical angles are what we call congruent. Congruent is just a geometry word for the same measure. Okay? They're going to be equal in measure. Okay? So we write that angle 1, this is the sign for congruent. That means those two angles are the same number of degrees. So maybe they're both 40 degrees or maybe they're both 50 degrees, whatever it may be. Okay? Are angles 1 and 3 the only pair of vertical angles in there?
No.
No. We also have angle, oh, you guys. You let me write 2 right there. That's not what goes there. That's a 3. Because angle 2 and angle 4 are a pair of vertical angles, and those two are congruent. I am so sorry. Okay. All right. Whose room is adjacent to mine? Miss Ripple is not adjacent to me. The room that used to be Miss Jumps. Okay. She is adjacent to me because she is next door. What do we share? We share a wall. We also share math. Yes, we do. But we do share a wall. So angles that share a wall, we don't call it a wall, okay? When they share a side, okay, and what we call a vertex, the vertex is just the point. But the most important thing, they share a side, okay? When angles share a side, they're adjacent. They look like they are right next to each other, okay? They're next door neighbors. Adjacent angles are next door neighbors, like me and Miss Polinsky is her name now. We share a wall. We're adjacent. Okay. Now, I think that you know the words complementary and supplementary from before, right? No? Yes? No? No? Okay. Anybody want to try to look at the picture and figure out what complementary means? Connor? The sum of their measures is 90 degrees. Okay? So this box right here, remember, means 90 degrees. Okay? So in this picture, angles 7 and 8 are adjacent. They don't have to be adjacent, just in this picture they are. But as long as we can add the measure of the two angles and they add up to be 90, then we can say that they are complementary. Okay? They can be adjacent, but they don't have to be. I'll be right back. Hold on. These two angles are also complementary. They're saying nice things to each other. Oh, okay. You guys are no fun today. Supplementary. Any two angles where the sum is what? 180 degrees. So supplementary means when we add our two angles together, it equals 180 degrees. Now, sometimes it'll give us like, ooh, this one's 60 and this one's 120. Or this one's 100 and this one's 80. And so we know by doing some math that they add to be 180. What gives it away in this picture right here with angle 9 and angle 10?
They're both one's up, two's up.
Okay, and that can be true, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're supplementary. What about that picture tells us, yes, they equal 180.
It's a straight line.
The two put together make a straight line, okay? All right. So, what I'm going to have you do, I am going to have you look at these 6 pictures. You and your elbow partner are going to look at these names up here and figure out what words to write in these 6 boxes. There are 2 pictures that will have 2 words and 4 pictures that have just 1 word. Okay? See what you can come up with. You and your elbow partner work together. Ready, set, go.
I think the second is adjacent. 3 vertical. What'd you say vertical as well?
Which is number 1 is supplement. My bad. Hey, I always just forget. It's like the one part that I'm distracted with.
Way to get creative there, guys.
Let's just start by finding.
Is there a way to figure out the difference between adjacent and vertical?
Yep. Adjacent means they share a side. They're next door neighbors. And vertical, they only share the point.
It's like right here, the 1 and 2 are adjacent to each other. And here, the 1 and 2 are across.
Yeah. So like these 2 would be vertical, not these 2.
So it's not vertical?
It is not
It's
vertical.
adjacent.
Because they share a side.
And then it would also be supplementary because
Yes.
they create a straight line.
Yes. Got them all?
Oh, my bad. My bad, guys. Wrong one. Now we're even.
All right, Eva, what do you think about number 1? All right, Eva says that these 2 angles are complementary. Do these 2 angles add up to be 90 degrees?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, I think that there is one more word we can write in here. What is it, Rachel?
Adjacent.
Okay, 1 and 2 share a side, so we also need to say that these are adjacent. Okay, and I will be picky about that. If they're adjacent, I need you to tell me. Okay, Jace, what do you got for number 2? All right, these 2 angles are adjacent. Are they supplementary? No, they do not make a straight line. Okay, but they do share a side, so they are adjacent. Okay, Aubrey, what do you have for number 3?
Adjacent.
These are adjacent. And I know that this picture looks a lot like the picture we see right here. However, these two angles share a side. And so they need to be adjacent. Did you write anything else?
Are they complementary?
Do these two add up to 90 degrees?
Oh, wait, supplementary.
Ah, there we go. These two are also supplementary. Yes. Partial points. Okay, since they make a straight line, they add up to be 180. Okay. Savannah, what about number 4? These are vertical angles. Very good. Okay. David, number 5. All right. Since 116 plus 64 equals 180, these are supplementary angles. Everybody, what is number 6?
Complementary.
They say with enthusiasm. Complementary. 23 plus 67 is 90. So we have complementary angles. All right. I think you've got this. So let's go to number 13. Okay. I want to make sure that we can do some algebra here. So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I am going to give you a couple moments. Can you try 13, 14, and 15? See what you can come up with there. Will you do something really strange for me? Will you both just pretend to use your calculator? I need to prove that I'm using these in my class and I keep forgetting to take a picture. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you two use this calculator to find an answer for me, please?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks.
I got new prescriptions too.
We have to do 16.
What I do, I'd see if 2 fit, if 2 don't fit, one fits.
Okay. Number 13, what's X? X is 107. Emily, what's X in number 14? How'd you get that?
71 plus 19 equals 90.
We knew that these two needed to add together to be 90 degrees. Okay. All right. In number 15, we have two supplementary angles. Aaliyah, what's X? 38. Okay. We know X plus 142 equals 180. Okay. Joey, what's XYZ here?
54 is 126.
Okay.
And 54.
And Z?
Z, X and Z are 126.
Okay, I'm sorry I missed you here.
And Y is 54.
Okay, thank you, Joey. Now, I have a question in number 17. How do I figure out what X is here? Was that your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, how do we figure it out?
It's always it's like the full angle of R to S to T is 112.
Mhm.
87 plus X is 112.
Oh, so you're saying 87 plus X needs to equal 112, which makes X equal to
25.
25. Does that sound good to you? Okay. Sounds good to me. Whew, I like this one. Can we talk about 19? Let's find X first. What is true about X? Okay, we know X is supplementary to this angle that's 127. So, what's X?
53.
53? What's Y? Ooh, Connor, you are quick on that. What kind of angles are X and Y? They are vertical angles. Very good. Okay. And then, what do we know about angles Y and Z? They are adjacent and complementary. If this right here is a 90-degree angle, and this is a line, then these two also are 90 degrees. So angle Z would be 37. Because 53 plus 37 equals 90. Jace?
Okay. What I'm not understanding is, how are you figuring out what numbers they are to equal 90?
Because the right.
What? Hold on. What do you mean? What numbers?
Like, how do you figure out if it's 53 and 37?
Because
Okay,
53 was
so
Y.
X is 53.
Okay.
You're good with that, right?
Well, how did you get that?
Okay. How we got that? These two angles right here make a straight line. So we knew X plus 127 should equal 180.
Okay.
So when I subtracted 127, we got 53.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Okay. And then are you okay with it? That's 53, then so is Y.
Yes.
Okay. So now we know that these two should add up to be 90.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I do want to go. Okay, so turn the page 8, 9. Turn the page. I don't know. What page are we on? So on page 10, Ooh, do I have that mismarked? All right. So, okay, so skip page 10 and go to page 11. Okay. On page 11, I want you to look at number 5. We're going to do number 5 together. Is that okay? Okay. On number 5, what's true about these two angles?
They're adjacent.
They're adjacent and supplementary. So we know that these two angles should add up to equal 180. Can you write that with me? Can we solve an equation? Yeah, we can solve an equation. All right, let's do that. 13x minus 2 equals 180. So 13x equals 182. All right. All right, calculator people, what's 182 divided by 13?
14.
Okay. Now, yes, we care that x is 14, but it's not exactly what I'm going for here. If I want to know the measure of angle SQR, here is SQR. So what are we going to have to do with 14?
Plug in X.
Okay. So we are going to have to say, okay, 10x minus 22 is what we're going to put right here for SQR. So what's 140 minus 22? 118? Okay. And then if I want RQT, then we're going to put 14 into 3x plus 20. Which even without doing that math, we know would have to be 62 if we know that these two are supplementary, right? Okay, so when we put in 3 times 14 plus 20, we better get 62 because these two need to add up to 180. Okay, all right, so I think I got a little messed up with, okay, go to page 10 real quick. Actually, no, don't. I want you to, on page 11, I'm asking you to do 1 through 5 and 6 to 14 evens. Hey guys, we just did number 5 together. Okay. And then back to page, is this 10? Right? You can cross off these right here.